Friday nights are better with football, especially when the two teams in primetime are undefeated. Wichita and Dallas, both 4-0, both in the Central. Rashad Lockley is fast, really fast. Gets that first catch, and he would not be done. Cameron Duty to Neil Rivers, now tied for the league lead in receiving touchdowns with 6. Wichita takes a 53-yard field goal here to make it 7-3 off their opening possession. Then Cameron Duty finds Rivers again for the first down. Just getting the second quarter started. Travis James is just getting this season started. He is getting better every week. Tough takedown there for Wichita to hold him 1 yard away, but Dallas's coaches got his back. Get in there. 14-3 Dallas on top of Wichita. Looked like it was going to get ugly, but Brett Solberg's a drop in the ocean. That is a ridiculous throw. And then a somersault by a defender who gets hung up. Look at this, 4th and 2. Wichita not messing around. That run is good for a first down. Sign just picked up by the team. Makes a big play for his team. And Chris Delro punches in the touchdown to end the drive. Makes it 14-10, 17-10. Wichita back in the red zone, but back kicking field goals. 10 touchdowns and 16 red zone trips to start the season, which is pretty good. But nothing beats touchdowns, especially when it's as easy as you please like that. That was Lockley racing to the end zone. Another field goal by Wichita. Too many teams with W's. Then the first half, then to start the third quarter, they get another one. Then at the end of the third quarter, they get another one. Just too many. They would be winning this game if Wichita could just punch it into the end zone. That's not going to help. Interception from Dallas. Holding on to that one in tight coverage. Julian Heim. Dallas protecting their 2-point advantage. They'd never let it go. Thanks in part to touchdowns in the red zone. This is Watts killing Wichita. 31-22, and hey, how about one more field goal for good measure? Too many field goals for Wichita. They lose their first game of the season in the battle of undefeateds that lived up to the billing. 31-25. Two teams in the Metro, both at 2-3. Washington and Cleveland getting going, and I promise you, there was more to this game than field goals. But early on, it was a field goal fest. TJ Stevens, the quarterback for Washington, this dude is one of the most underrated players in the UFL. This guy can sling it. And he was mixing it up to just about everybody in the first half. 8 of 9 at that point, and then finds Moody in the end zone for the touchdown. 10-3 Washington. Cleveland just before the break, out of timeouts, has to take the 3, but at least they get something. 10-6. Next Washington possession. That is a drop. Just a pretty drop in the bucket from Stevens. If you didn't like that one's pretty good too. Down to the 22-yard line, it would end in a Washington field goal, so they would take a 13-6 lead over Cleveland. The Bandits hanging around, but Washington's in control. Stevens over to his wideout, 16-21 at that point, 210 yards. And then Stevens finds Eric Kilgore, who shakes out of a tackle and has all kinds of space. Now, I just got to give a shout out as we watch Washington cap this drive with a field goal to Penny Lane. 7 solo tackles, 3 TFLs. She was all over the place. Definitely was one of the best players on this night. Don't have a ton of defensive highlights on this show because we got to go quick, and that is what Isaac Covert could not do tonight. Neither can I, apparently. Going slow with the highlights. Going slow in the backfield. 4th and 33. I'll give Isaac Covert credit. He gave his running back a chance to go get that ball. 33 yards away from the line of scrimmage and somehow still overthrew him. TJ Stevens, tight end, so wide open he almost missed him. Field goal tacked on for good measure. This game was as ugly as my read. Washington 26, Cleveland 6. The Knights, don't look now. They're 3-3. They're a contender in the East. El Paso, winless, but with hope. Picked up 2 new players this week, Jordan Herrera, Alan Wood. Wood had an interception, but Bo Braxton had that touchdown for Albuquerque. Elliott Pope Jr., the quarterback for El Paso, threw a pick on his first attempt tonight, which resulted in a field goal, and then another field goal, and then another field goal. 16-0. Albuquerque is not able to pull away. Dyron James for the Desperados starts getting going in the third quarter. El Paso still with the goose egg on the board, but starting to put some things together. 1 yard out, McCreary takes a dive in for the score. 2-point conversion to make it a one-score game. Give it back to him, but it's blown up. 2-point try, no good. 16-6 Albuquerque on top. Their fourth field goal of the day, good from 43, made it a 13-point game. Elliott Pope Jr. escapes out the back door. He had over 100 rushing yards. Look at him just toying with defenders. Great day on the ground for pretty much every El Paso ball carrier. Nearly 200 yards on the ground for the Desperados, but just could not find a passing game. And Herrera, who they were expecting big things from in his first game with the team, was pretty quiet. That touchdown made it 19-13. The defense holds Albuquerque to their fifth field goal of the night. This is still a game. 22-13. Elliott Pope Jr. is going to be thrown down by the collar on 4th and 23. That sets up Albuquerque quite nicely. Shark Tarkington Jr. into the end zone for the score. They went for two. They didn't get it. It didn't matter. Albuquerque wins 28-13. El Paso still searching for win number 1 on the season. Atomics 3-3. Austin, fresh off their comeback win over Montana, in Sioux Falls tonight to take on Dakota, fresh off their comeback win over Minnesota. Who would rise to the occasion in the fourth quarter of this one? In the first, Lorenzo Snow, the 13th, scoring a touchdown and giving a teammate a piggyback ride. He's so thoughtful. TJ Horn Jr., I think that should have been a touchdown. They mark him down just short. That's all right, he'd get his later. Snow, the 13th, back in the end zone for another 1 yard score. It was 17-0 at that point, 17-3 after the Austin field goal. But even before the first half was over, Lorenzo Snow, the 13th, is at it again. His third touchdown of the night, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. The defender just absolutely whiffing. Jesse Long shows no quit, ever. This beautiful pass down the sideline, hauled in by Hill to make it a 24-13 game. Now 33-13. Austin down in the fourth quarter. But again, Jesse Long refuses to quit. Deep ball. I don't know how he even saw that guy down there. That was Hill again. Jesse Long, second and goal, back of the end zone. Got him. Hill having a day. 33-20. Not over yet, but you got to cover Mike Coco. Coco had his best day as a Rhino. Over 100 yards. Billy Flagg. There's Horn. There you go. Not 1 yard short this time. Touchdown for the big robot man. 41-20. 2.5 to go. This game is over. Mike Woodstone gets out of bounds. Nicely done. Jesse Long, 329 yards. Then Long down the middle and into the end zone for the score. Austin would recover the onside kick. Still has all 3 timeouts. Still has all day to throw. Jesse Long with a moon ball caught. Unbelievable. Long would tack on another touchdown. Austin will recover another onside kick. But Mordecai Pfister, 3 sacks down the stretch. That is 8 minutes in UFL heaven.